Lishu original, I mentioned that before, from Zhuangsu. Today I will using some of the Mandarin as well, because some of the terminology, if I using Mandarin, it's a bit more easy to understand. And I also brought some books, for example. Before I come to the class, also send some picture to the group. So let everyone know that what I'm going to talk today. We all know that in the old day, a lot of calligraphy or character from China, they are created by the shape, by the sound, by the meaning, and by the flow and all that. But the very old day, that's why I brought some of this, then you can see it. They very much like drawing. And that is talking about over 2,000 years ago. Okay, so this is called Zhuangsu. And you can see all these Zhuangsu, they have a lot of round up circling. They are not unlike the Lishu. They have a square and more flattened. So when was that changing? That was start changing about, I would like to say about 2,000 years ago. Okay, now we are 2020. And then the earliest day, what I know that it was found more than 17,000 pieces of hanjian, meaning those old day people using the wood pieces or bamboo pieces, use the ink to write on it. And then I want you to open up your photo and you can see those photos that I sent today. Those are the hanjian. This is, I would like to go to see how this look like, okay? This is called hanjian. Meaning that using ink and brush writing on the piece of wood. And then what they do is they're using some straw, tie them up, or string, rope, tie them up, and roll them up together. Even though in the old days, the king, the emperor, they're using that to read the report from the officer. So about 100 years before, after crisis, so we're talking about 1900 years ago, they start changing from the Zhuangsu to the hanjian. The hanjian now, they're making the writing a bit easier and faster, more efficient. So that's the hanjian is the bridge from Zhuangsu transition to Lishu. And that an old day, today a lot of people, they try to copy and imitate the hanjian and write, and causing a lot of people also say, 丑书, that's ugly calligraphy. Okay, so I have few students ask me, so are you telling me the hanjian is not a shufa, it's not a calligraphy? I just say in some degree, I don't agree. Hanjian have a lot of value from aesthetic, from art. Why I say that? Because at that day, the time, the brush is not as good as today. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned in one of the classes, let's say in the old day, they're using some feather and they tighten up and a piece of wood, wrapping up of the wood. So the inside is hollow. So when you write on it, that's why when you see the hanjian, they don't have a solid and smooth line of all the character. And then if they're using this kind of tool to write on the wood and the bamboo, then how can they have all the good construction of a stroke and make it nice? However, they have a value on it, because if they're using that poor brushes or the tool to write it, they still can do it in this kind of shape and art. Of course, they have the value on it. They're still very good. But I don't recommend that we should start doing the way how they do. Because when you're doing something like that, unless you're a very famous guy, Li Jiazhen or someone bought from you, otherwise you won't work for money. People will not pay something for this kind of work. Okay? And also, like I said, calligraphy in many times is something that very boring. Ink on a piece of white paper. How can you make people to love your work, have the aesthetic to people? So that's why the structure and the stroke of each one is very important. So that's why today I brought some of the different kind of, last time I brought some of the different kind of Lishu, but today I brought some of the Zhuanshu and Lishu together for everyone to compare. So when we compare all this, then we will know the difference, and also some hand printing, kaishu, then you will know the difference when they transition from Zhuanshu, from Lishu, from Hanjian, then to Lishu, to kaishu, hand printing, fast hand writing. That's a process. Now, the current, we're talking about 70, 80 years ago when communists in China, they tried to make the calligraphy of the Chinese character, simplify them. So they make very complicated structure that the character have so many strokes, make it less stroke. So what they do, they try to use some of the symbol from the fast-paced, fast handwriting. For example, I'm going to say teacher. This one, the original, that the stroke, they are going like this. This is the hand printing one, okay? And then I will do the Lishu. The Lishu, a lot of similar to this. Then I believe in my homework also have something this character for you to follow. Now, the simplify, if I'm not wrong, maybe Alice can correct me. They're doing something like this. Am I right?
Yes.
Why they have this come from here? Because the fast hand pace, fast hand like this, they do like this. So they change it. So the same thing with, let me get one of this to show you the difference. Okay. This is the Zhuanshu. In the old day, you see how many strokes that they have to do it. Okay, so this is something like a roof, a house that have people, but in it they have all this like a fan, like a wooden fence. But in fact, they are not the wooden fans. They are the hanjian. In the old day, when they want to talk, passing a message, they write all that on a piece of wood and tie it up with the straw, like I just mentioned. So that is what they mean. Okay, that's why discussion, 讨论. Discussion. This one is a simplified from here. Okay, so that's how I want everyone to know the history, the transfer of from something to something. Then you will see why we are doing it. For example, another one. I want to show one more about the mouse. That this one, they have so many way of doing it. In the old days, they have someone do it this way. And they have another way, like the way I do it up there. And in the bottom, it looks like the true moon. So, when they transfer from one to a simplified, it's meaning that they would like to make it easy for communication, for writing. And today we don't have to do all that now, because we have computer, or we are typing on internet. Okay. Now I will, when I finish the class, I will make some more copy. And I'm going to send it to everyone, and I will try to make more copy of all this and give it to everyone. So when you bring home, you can compare. You can know a little bit about how the transition go. And I will try to write down some of the information for everyone about how they go. Now, because we start of Lishu, I will talk more about the Lishu different type. Last class, the class before last class, I showed the book to everyone. We have so many styles, but different style, they have a different way of writing. The style that you learn in the beginning, you should focus on one style until you really know. Because in calligraphy, it's something like that. In the beginning, you need to copy or put it on top of it to trace, and then put it side by side. And after that, you can close the whole thing. Then you try to dictate by yourself. And after that, then you will just say, hey, if I want to do something like that, I still can do it without even dictate looking at it. That means you're already very good at that. You're in your mind. But after that, what you need to do? You need to read more different style of Lishu. Because different style of Lishu, they have a different way of express the image. And you need that. For example, if I only wearing like this all the time, one day I like to have a European cutting. Then when I put it on myself, it look different. Probably from there, you will find a different style. Then you say, hey, if I'm mixing this style with my style, it will make me even look better. So the style that you are working right now, that I'm teaching, those are the style that was created by my daddy. Because he read many different type of Lishu, and then he slowly adopt all the different style, and he become his own. Okay? So, for example, this one, Cao Chuan, is very smooth and very light and really like a handsome boy or handsome girl, slim, very good. But some of them, they are very energetic with heavy stroke, as I mentioned before. For example, if I'm going to do the same one, the Chao Chuan, they are doing like this. Normally they don't have a lot of the energy like the other one I'm going to do. This is the Chao Chuan the old way, okay, not the way that you learned from me before. And you will see they are very, the two dots also they are very tight together, and they are very, how can you say, very compressed, and they wide open in here, like that. And this second head a little bit different than the one you learned from me before, that the go like this. If I doing my style here, you will see the difference. Right? Now, if you're gonna do the one of Yue Yin, they have a different way. If they go like this, they are very strict here as well. But here, they are a bit more square head. They come down here, they are very happy. See, they're happy here. They don't have the round head. And then if you're doing the Shi Wen Song, they even don't have a lot. They just go very quick. Just like this. And then, let me see another one. Yeah, another one, the same thing. This one is Li Qi. Li Qi very much like Yue Yin. 但是呢, but they are a bit more, still more happy, and over here, they even have a happy, but they are round on the bottom here. It's more round on the bottom and happy like this. Instead of sharp over here. And over here, you still can see the silken head. Not so much like Yue Yin, more flat. And these four are the most Lishu style that people, when they start to practice in Lishu. Another one, for the Li Qi, what they're doing for this character, and they have very happy here. Very happy here like this. This Lishu, Li Qi. And for the Chao Chuan, like this. See the difference? Yeah. And then for example, for the same character, this one from Cao Chuan, they will do something like this. However, for the Yue Ying, they have a different. They have the dot here, the three dots here, very similar. But in here, they have this one heavy and sharp turn up, and the mouth in the bottom, they go like this way. So today I share all this with you. I want to let you know, after you practice the one that you are learning right now, later on, you start to get involved to reading more different style. Then you ask yourself, which one I like very much? And I'd like to learn to adopt. You should read more books. And those are one more advanced and immediate. Then you need to learn different style. And then at that time, you can call yourself, you have very much more advanced into the door for upper level. Whatever in the beginning, we are learning calligraphy, just like you go to school when you finish university. In fact, after you finish in university, you don't know a lot. It's only give you the key to open the door, to enter the knowledge, treasure. And what you need to do after you enter that, then you will say, hey, I want to learn accounting. I want to learn to be a physician, a medical. So all that, you need to focus. The same thing like whatever you learn from the class now, is give you the key to open the door. And you once you know, when you practice, when you finish from university, then you just say, hey, I need to focus on a certain thing. So the class will teach you not only Lishu, after that will teach you handwriting, mean Kaishu. And then after Kaishu, will teach you some bit more fast pace, called Xingsu and Xingcao. So those are the ones that you start to finish the whole system. Then now you sit down to yourself, which one I like the most, and you focus on it. And after that, you also need to learn how to design, how to create on your artwork. And beside all that, then you need to learn how to do the stamp, the seal for yourself, because those are the things all related. And after that, not only that, you need to read more books, Chinese old style book, poetry. Why I say that? Because when you write different kind of article, your emotion is different. It's so funny. Why? When I'm writing something like Xinjing, is that Xinjing? Myself, I have to wash my hand to show my respect. I have to relax myself. So when I finish the Xinjing, the whole atmosphere, the style would be different than I writing something of the old literature. Why? Because my emotion, leading my hand, my whole body, the soul, into it in a different level. When we're doing the art and creative, what we try to do it a little bit different. You remember last time we talking about the character south? Some people purposely, they don't do it on the center. They do it a little bit on the side. This one's supposed to be everything in center. Right? They're all in center. It's good. However, it comes to the art, you can do it a bit off. But they still stand. But you cannot do it too off. That's no good. This one is the same thing. This one, what I try to do is, it's supposed to be like this. And then you have all the way. That's perfect, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I do it purposely. I do it this way because this is a art and design. I try just only out a little bit, but I go all the way here. Just like sometimes I stand, I don't stand like this way. I stand this way. But as long as I don't fall, I still have to control the center. Mm-hmm. So that's what the trial of this one. Why I do that? For example, like lately, I write 8 poetry for the Chinese Arts Association. The first one is the book, but the second one is the drawing. So when I don't want to be similar, so I do the book like this way, and then the drawing I do it this way. And I even make it a bit more, then I go like this. You see, so I won't duplicate. Mm-hmm. But it's so funny, this character, the book, if you do it the other way around, it won't look good. I try that. If I do it this way, it doesn't look good as this one.
But if you are writing book and painting together, so you will use this way. But if I just writing book by itself, so I should
center.
Which one?
Center line.
Oh, center line.
Center line. Here. Mm-hmm. A bit out here.
Yeah. Okay.
But this one cannot too far. If you're too far, it's no good. If you go like this, no good at all. Because you should consider, if they come out here, this probably about here the most. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. Bruce, I would need you to know, this is only on the side. Individual one, this one is the bird. But when they combine with other parts, they mean a different character. This one is the goose, this one is the crane, okay? This one, they both vary a lot of stroke, so need to be a little bit be careful that evenly share the space. This one, sometimes you don't have to go this way. They have a different way of doing it. I will show that later, okay? You can do it this way. And then go up here. And this one you can also do it this way. Putting this one from the top down here. Of course, personally, I like this style a bit better. Now you can just over it a little bit. It's not a big deal. This is the way how you can create it. This one you have to open this one up a little bit because you have another one on the bottom, another character on the bottom. Up. Now, I'm not doing as good because I need the top part to be more compressed. So I do it again. When you finish, you need to look at your work. You can find out that, hey, how they look like. They no good, then you need to do it again. Now make it a bit more narrow. Come down, push up, lift. You need to leave some room later on for this stroke to go. So that's why I don't go all the way up there. Now this one you can touch, no touch, but I prefer not touch because I need some room. Light, heavy, pull out a little bit because you want to try to balance. Now I put this dot a bit further here because I don't want to leave too much of space here. You don't want to have suddenly so empty space. Now inside here, you can do a 2 dot like I'm doing right now, or you can put a horizontal stroke all the way across, still okay. And I will write another different style here for everyone to see it again. You can do it that way. One, two, three, because all the way from the left to right is all upward. So I want to balance it and make this one a bit long, pull it down a little bit. Now the trick for this one here, you cannot write this part too high on the top. Otherwise, you cannot make it balanced. So got to be a bit low. The center first, you can go up like this way, come down. Try to make the diagonal angle very much the same on both sides. Need to tight on the top because this one have a lot of character on the bottom that you need to fill up. If you don't plan on it in advance, you will not have room enough and the character will look very lengthy and long. Now this one cannot go too high, below. Lift up, press down. I turn the brush because the brush is flattening already. So if you know how to control your brush, you can do it like me. Because you need the brush to follow your instruction. Start in the center. Here the center line. One, two, three, four. So see, 2 dots on the left, 2 dots on the right to make it balanced. I will make another one. You can see, I hope you can see, I make the center part is a bit too big. If it's smaller a little bit, will be better. Now this one you don't have to do the 4 dot like I'm doing here. They have a different way of doing it as well. Now the trick for this side, I have to let you know, you have to have enough, let me finish and then I will talk. Now you have to have enough space on each one here. If you're too tight, the hole on this called the ship, too compressed, it will move up and the whole character is not balanced. Now, I do this one this way. Why? Because I try to balance on this side. You don't have to do that. It's just a personal preference. Now, because I have both sides, I don't want to do the same thing so lengthy, so I make it just short here. Lift up, press down. The trick for this one too, you have to know how to control your hand, when to lift, and also the curve, the angle of the curve, okay? Because both sides got to be similar. You see, when I press down here, I can stop a little bit. For 2 reasons. I want the ink to come down a bit more on the paper, and so they can spread out a bit more natural, and I can turning the direction of my brush. This one you can be a dot, can be a little bit stroke, it's not a matter. Now you can touch the top or you don't have to. Now this one I can do it this way. And they also have another one to do it, but you can short it because you have this stroke. If, for example, if I doing like this, and then you do it this way, so you have 2 like this, doesn't look very natural, not aesthetic. Especially this one is not for stand by itself, it's gonna on the side. So that's why you're doing this way. You shorten this one on this side because it's only half.
one thing that you cannot make this one is too lengthy. Otherwise, you have too much room in the middle. It's also no good. Just enough passing. Come down only about halfway. Now I'm so happy here because I know I'm going to finish with the other one, so it won't be a problem for too heavy, because you have two strokes overlap each other. Okay, that's why sometimes you need to think a bit ahead, then you will be fine. You can cover it. This one is very hard to do it. If you have any question, you can call me. You can see I'm turning the brush very often because I don't want to dip so much of ink so many times. So I want to make sure the direction is right. One, two, three. Now this here, up. You can do it this way. This is another way of doing it. Now you can touch up here, or just like me, I don't touch up, still fine. remember this 2 dot is on the upper part, so that way you can control how to balance, and this last one over here is to make it balance. Now this one I have to keep it close. I don't open so far because I have another one on this side, another character on that side. Now you see what I mean before, because they are going to touch. If we open too much, you don't have room for this stroke to go, for this one to go. I wasn't doing good at all. This one I have to redo it again. No good. So now this one, I try to give a bit more space to the right, to my right, so I can finish that with more room. I try to control everything in the center as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this one I don't go all the tail so low because I have another part of the character I need to do in the bottom. Okay. Now this one a little bit start with the top a bit different, but they are the same thing. When you do it short and on the top, then you need to open up at the bottom a bit wide like this one. bit tight on the bottom here, so the whole character will put together, bind together. This one is actually a bit simplified from the original. I'm going to show you the complication later on. The original one you don't want to learn because it's so difficult, so much of stroke, but I'm going to do it that you to see, okay? I'm open up the top a bit wider because of the structure of the whole character itself.不烂，不摆平，所以变成这样子。I'm lazy, I don't fold it, make it flat. So don't learn that. That's no good. That's the bad example, okay? Go up, lift up, go.这个笔身就不大好用了。Now I'm going to write another one. This one, you can see the stroke here bigger, but you have another way of doing it. You don't want it too long because you want the bottom one to be a bit bigger. but I want to see how it's going to look like. The design, the structure. Still, this one better, right? Right? Yeah, this one better. But anyway, I don't cross it out. Now I write this one a bit short because I want to give the right hand side here to have room to make it a bit more exaggerate. You can go down here and then turn all the way. No good. Do it again. I'm far away. Now I leave some room here because I know I'm going to have this stroke come here.
turn the corner is up to
邊度？呢個可以 turn 唔可以唔需要 turn。Okay, yeah. May asking, should we turn or we should not turn? It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do one more time. You can turn or you don't have to turn. I'll do this one that turn for you, so you can see the difference. But it's not wrong, okay? Now I make it a bit round, this one, instead of the square one. You turn like this. Now see, this one they have a different way of writing. Now I'm going to do a different way. Also because of the structure why you can do it this way. So it's confused Bruce, because Bruce have to remember which one can be done this way, which one cannot be done that way, right, Bruce? Now, you have to have room for this guy later on to go in between. Okay. This one, the difficult is you have to make this top very combined and tight together. Don't let it loose. Now I'm going to show you another one again, because they have this too far away, no good. So this already no good. This one have two different way of doing it. This character is called go. Now because the top parts here, they are a bit more work. So that's why I lift it up a little bit, so I save some room in the bottom. You can do it this way. Instead of the one that over here, you can 2 stroke and 2 dot on the bottom, or 2 dot on the top, just moving around, clearing the space. So Bruce, you don't have to be confused, okay? You see so many different styles now. I'm shortcut. I'm going to not doing the one on the top. This one have a little bit challenge on how to put this is by itself. It's mean the door. Now you can see I try to move a bit toward to the right to try to make it close. But if you don't do it that way, you will see they will apart away. Okay, so I do the door right now. This one is the space wide, you need to be careful. You're touching the line, but not let them away from the line, because otherwise you will see it very far away. And the door will be too wide open. Okay, for example, I try to do it, this is done. If I do it this way, in this paper, if you do it, this is a center line. If you do it this way, and then you do the same space, okay, you will see later on it will apart so far, right? So funny. 呢個字好怪㗎。When you do the center line here, if you do it like this, and then you have some space in the center, you will think, oh, that will be perfect because I'm going to give the same space here. Okay? You will find this so far open. You have to do it close, a bit closer to the center line, even touching a little bit. Then on the left hand side, the right hand side here, you give it a little bit space, then you will be fine. Then you will not get it too wide open. Okay?